I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
Hey everybody, welcome to a very special edition of Tales from Godric's Hollow. This is the 5th installment of the Muggle Theories series. I am, of course, the Muggle of the show. I am Josh Brown. And I am here because of popular demand. You people, the listening audience, the wonderful community members out there, were badgering me all week on the last episode, wanting to know my opinions, my thoughts, my theories about one very specific topic. We are at the end of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. We have 3 chapters left. We just got through the worst 3 chapters in the history of books. It was pretty rough, but by the end of those chapters, there was one big glaring mystery that you guys wanted me to try to solve using my feeble Muggle brain. And that big question, that big mystery is who the 3 mysterious Death Eaters are that our good friend Voldy was referencing in his long, gigantic monologue as he embraced the Death Eaters returning to his side. So I have some thoughts. I've been thinking about it. I've been trying to get over Cedric's death by trying to solve mysteries. I feel like that is helping a little bit, so I'm going to do my best here on this episode. I want to read the exact quote. Professor Matt Sonnenberg was kind enough to send that over to me via email, so I wouldn't have to do too much digging to try to find the exact wording of what I'm trying to figure out here. The quote goes as follows. And here we have 6 missing Death Eaters, 3 dead in my service, 1 too cowardly to return. He will pay. 1 who I believe has left me forever. He will be killed, of course. And 1 who remains my most faithful servant, and who has already re-entered my service. The Death Eaters stirred, and Harry saw their eyes dart sideways at one another through their masks. He is at Hogwarts, the faithful servant, and it was through his efforts that our young friend arrived here tonight. So, my task tonight in this Muggle Theories episode is to try to hone in on those 3 mysterious Death Eaters. Now, obviously the 3 that are killed, I don't know, whatever. We'll figure that out. I'm not too concerned about those. Do I know them? Maybe. Will I learn about them? Possibly. But for now, let's just focus on this. First of all, it seems like we're going to know all 3 of them. I feel like we know all 3 of these mystery Death Eaters. So I have a pretty good guess as to all 3 of them. One was mentioned to be at Hogwarts, but I feel like I feel like all 3 of them might be at Hogwarts. And that sounds kind of crazy, but bear with me here. So the first one. Actually, here, I'll lay out the 3 people who I think are the 3 Death Eaters, and then I'll assign them to the 3. 2 of which we already know to be Death Eaters, and that is our dear friend from up north, Igor Karkaroff, the headmaster of Durmstrang. Then we have Professor Snape, who is a known Death Eater who has switched allegiances and switched sides. I think he's a double agent. Back and forth he goes. So those are the 2 we know for sure are Death Eaters. And the third one, I think I've kind of been riding this train for a while now. And I think everything has kind of been pushed aside to kind of throw me off track here. But I think it's Barty Crouch. Okay? So those are the 3. Now, how am I going to assign them as to how Voldy described them? The 1 too cowardly to return. I definitely think that's Igor Karkaroff. He seems like the cowardly type. Like, he seems angry and bitter and yelling, but I think deep down inside, like, he's pretty cowardly. And I think that's why he was talking to Snape, because he doesn't want to go back to the Death Eaters. Like, he's done. He's out. He doesn't want anything to do with them anymore. And I have a feeling that Voldy doesn't know that he's at Hogwarts now with this whole tournament. The second one, the one who believes he has left him forever and will be killed, I think that's Professor Snape. I think Snape, as bad of a dude as I think he is, I don't see him going back to the dark side, returning to the Death Eaters, going back to Voldy's side, and I think Voldy kind of understands that also. Does that mean that Snape will eventually get killed by Voldemort? Ugh, that's a stretch. I don't know. Like, Voldy might try. He might try. Will he succeed? I don't know. I don't know if Snape's killable. He's a pretty talented wizard. And Dumbledore has his back, so I don't know. Different directions with that one. And the third, the one that Voldemort says is his most faithful servant and has already re-entered his service, I think that's Crouch. I think Crouch is the one working the inside angle. We've seen him appear in Hogwarts. He's been in like the forest outside of Hogwarts. And I think he's the one that got Harry Potter's name into the Goblet of Fire, putting him in the tournament. I think that's where we're at here. So, yeah, I think those are our three mystery Death Eaters. Igor Karkaroff is the one too afraid to come back. Professor Snape is the one that Voldy fears has left him for good and will be killed. And I think Crouch is his faithful servant in there in Hogwarts, disrupting everything that's going on. I think, everything that he was doing for the Ministry was just a front so that he would have all the inside information, which would allow him to help the Death Eaters and Voldy in so many different ways. There you have it. There's my Muggle theories. I'm very, very anxious to see if the mystery is solved in the next 3 chapters at the end of this book. I have a feeling they will be, but maybe they'll just be left open-ended for the next book. I don't know. I hope I have entertained you guys with my Muggle theories. If I'm way off, I hope you guys are laughing and snickering and talking behind my back. And if I'm absolutely dead on, which I feel like I might be here, I expect all the praise in the world by the next episode, or whenever we figure out the 3 mysteries. So there you have it. Once again, this has been a special edition of Tales from Godric's Hollow. This is Muggle Theories number 5. I have been Josh Brown, the Muggle of the show. You can find me on Twitter at The Noise. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Tales from GH. Follow us on Instagram, Tales from Godric's Hollow. The website, talesfromgodricshollow.com. If you'd like to email Matt gets all the emails. I never get to see him. So whatever you want to say to Matt, spoiler-based or otherwise, talesfromgodricshollow@gmail.com. And if you'd like to support us in what we're doing here on the show, bringing you all this extra content and everything else, the giveaways, and just building this awesome community, you could do so over at Patreon, patreon.com/talesfromgodricshollow. This has been fun. I will be reading in a couple days here, and we will be recording episode 49 next. Should be good times. I'm excited to get to the end of this book. But until next time, Muggle out.
Mischief managed.